This video will give you some directions to get you going on Module 1. So I'm going to scroll down here to open up the module. You can also get to the module by clicking on the link over here on the left. And let me just open this up so you can see the outline. So there are 16 pages of directions and resources for you here in Module 1. So there's an introduction, the learning objectives, I have a calendar, then some directions that go along with reading Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. Then we're going to have a whole class discussion on entrepreneurship. Then we'll do a discussion for Chapter 2 in smaller groups, and I think you'll see why when we do the entire class discussion, why it's helpful to be broken up into smaller groups. And then there's a folder here with directions for your case study, and that has a discussion as well. So there are actually 3 discussions that are going on. You're in a group of the entire class, you're in a discussion group that you're going to be in for the rest of the semester to do your chapter discussions, and then there's a small team discussion here that goes along with the case study. This module also has a self-check, so it's multiple choice questions on chapters 1 and 2. And then there's a professional focus reflections that's due at the end of the module. It's better to do that more toward the end of the module. And then I just will have a checklist there that I'll show you in just a minute. So I'm going to hide this again, and also the left-hand menu so that we can really see this. So here's the first page. It's an introduction to the module. I think, the main learning objectives is that you're going to be, as well as learning the content of the chapters, you'll be feeling more comfortable in learning how to participate in asynchronous online discussions, and also it's a good way to learn how to access journals from the UMass library. So you're going to be learning that as you're doing some of the other activities. So let's keep going here. So these are the learning activities. So they're just here along with the learning objectives. So you can read that. And then here's the calendar. So I have things set up so you're mostly working on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, but if there's things that you don't finish on Tuesday, you'll have time to finish them up on Wednesday. Same thing, if you start things on Thursday and then finish them up on Friday, that'll be fine. And the same thing with Saturday and Sunday. I would say for the self-checks, try to get those done by the due date, because that's where you will get the highest score. And then here's some things going along with chapter number 1. So I have some extra links here besides what's in the textbook. And the learning objectives are there. And I put some of the links from the textbook here so that it's easy for you to look at them so you don't have to type them again. So these again are optional, but if you want to go look at them, it's perfectly fine. And I try to make sure that things are as up-to-date as possible. For example, your textbook mentions the Institute of Medicine, but the Institute of Medicine is now called the National Academy of Medicine, and it's changed its website. And if you like to keep track of websites, you can do something called social bookmarking. So there's a little video here that I found on YouTube. So go ahead and use that if you'd like to better understand what social bookmarking is and use it. And then, as I said, the first discussion is going to be on entrepreneurship. So you can click here and here to go to the discussion, and it's also on our main discussion boards. Let me open this up here. So the same discussion is here under Module 2, Discussion 1, Entrepreneurship. So you can click here and then just create a thread and type in the subject of your post, and then just type in the text box. Now, if you do end up typing in Microsoft Word and copying and pasting, it may not work, or some weird formatting might come through, and this is the Remove Formatting button. So that's a way you can just highlight your words and remove some of the formatting if things are not posting the way that you like. I would encourage you to not add attachments of your work, because it's very difficult for people to read all the different files and be downloading them. So please do put your work into the text box. And when you're done, you just hit submit. I'm going to cancel because I haven't put anything in there. So let me go back to Module 1 and just show you that if we go to the discussion from here, the same place is actually going to open up. So you just click to launch, and you're back here at that create thread. And when you do that, it should show you again the directions so you know what you're typing in and whatnot. So I hope that that will work well for you. Okay, so that's that. Let me open up this side and go to the second discussion. And again, this is going to be in your groups, and I want you to try to start learning what it's like to answer using a teaching presence. Try to make sure that your subjects lines are complete sentences or something that's going to describe the main part of your message. And then to actually get to this discussion group, you'll need to click through here, depending on which discussion group that you're in. And if you're not in that discussion group, when you click to launch, you'll get an error message. So, there's discussion group 1, discussion group 2, and discussion group 3. So you'll just need to do the click to launch and you'll get there. So let me go into discussion group 2 and go to click through to the discussion board. And here is the discussion on epidemiology. So that's the one that's opened. And I've already posted 5 different questions here. So you're going to be picking a couple of those to reply to and answer. So again, if you want to work on this one, and you'll read this and hit reply, you want to change the subject, so make sure that you make an effort to change the subject to your post topic. And then just go ahead and type. So let's go back here and just take a peek at this. So we've gone through all of these and all the group discussions, and now let's take a look at the case study. So this folder has the CITI training assignment, and then also the directions for case number 1, and also a link to the discussion board for that. So here's the directions for completing the CITI training. So let me just kind of show you what happens when you go to the training. You're going to be here at the CITI training programs website, and you're going to log in through your institution. So just click that link over on the right, scroll down till you find University of Massachusetts Amherst number 71, and click there, and you're going to see a place where you can actually log in just like you log into Blackboard. So when I do that, it shows me the 2 different CITI trainings that I have completed, and as you're working through that, you'll be able to do the same. So just remember, log in through your institution. All right, so that's the CITI training, and then here's the case study directions for this particular case study. We're going to be accessing things from the UMass library here, so you'll get practice doing that. And it's just very important that you just read through the steps of these directions one thing at a time. And here, down here is all the information that helps you to access articles from the e-journal section of the UMass library. And then there's the case study rubric. And then I have some old screen capture videos that kind of explain how to work with the wiki. So I encourage you to take a look at those. So all that stuff is here in the directions for the Module 1 case study. I've scanned some things from the textbook in case you need them and you don't have a textbook yet. All right, so here's where you go to access your team discussion or your wiki. You also can get it here under My Groups. So the main discussion board and the wiki can be access over here under My Groups, or you can do click to launch. And I think I'm in team number 2. Yes. So if I were going to click group home page here, I'd get back to this very same page. So there it is again. And then you have a discussion board where I recommend that you click here and then create threads to organize yourself, discuss the case, decide who's going to work on what part, etc. So this is where you should discuss with one another the aspects of the case that you feel are important. And let's just go back to the home page and show you that you can get your group wiki here, or either of those two links. It both goes to the same place. And you're just going to edit wiki content. I've made separate pages here for each step in the case, the foundation and the 4 steps. So you'll just be doing edit wiki content, and just go ahead and type right here as you'd like to, and then just hit submit, and you can always go in and make all kinds of edits, etc. It works just like you're working on a regular page in any aspect, the blog, the discussions, or whatever here in Blackboard. Okay, so let me get back to the module. And I went over, it was in here for the case study, talked about the training, talked about, and showed you the directions that you need to read carefully, and then also showed you how you can get to your particular Team Wiki page. Okay, here's the self-check. So you're just going to, once you see this, click continue, and you're just going to be, filling in radio buttons. You can save answers as you go along, or you can save them at the end. There are 20 questions here. And when you're done answering the questions, click save and submit. If you go back in here, you're probably going to get another set of questions that's different from when you do this the first time. So if you're interested, feel free to go ahead and take the quizzes more than once. And page 15 is the professional focus reflection. Each one of these is a little bit different, so be sure to read the directions. So for this part 1, you should just answer 1 of the 5 questions below. And then for the second part, I'm asking that you answer all 3 of the questions, but it depends on which reading you want to do the reflection on. So you pick one chapter reflection or the other, and then answer the 3 questions. And I encourage you to go ahead and copy and paste the questions into a Word document and attach this assignment by browsing your computer and finding the Word document and uploading it, or you can do it as a PDF, and then it's very easy for me to give you feedback. If you write your submission in the text box for this one, it's more difficult for me to give you feedback. So for the professional focus reflections, I encourage you to go ahead and do that by attaching a doc or a PDF file. I'm going to cancel, but you would probably do submit. And then finally you get to the last page, which is just wrapping up. So you can just make sure that you participate in the entrepreneurship discussion in the main discussion board. You did your group's epidemiology discussion and replied to one another. And you completed the self-check and the professional focus reflection, and that you completed the case study, which included finishing the CITI training and uploading the completion report, and also submitting case number 1, which is just going to be filling in the wiki as part of your team's activities. So I hope that's not too overwhelming. It's the best thing is to just take things one at a time and try to, turn off your email, turn off Twitter, turn off Facebook so you're not distracted, and, focus on the class for, 15, 20 minutes, a half an hour, and then take a break, and then come back and work for another, half an hour time block. And little by little, you should be getting this all done and use that calendar to help you kind of organize your time and keep up with everything.